There's that high-tech phone studio. I don't think my hair is right where I want it. I need to start using pomade again, I guess. So I'm gonna make a morning video. I've been reading about the 50th anniversary stuff. Everybody's posting their little. They're just making their little Facebook posts and stuff. And I saw some stuff on X, formerly known as Twitter, but now it's extreme. But extreme censorship. And yeah, it's been that long, has it? 74. That's people. Most people think the game started when they started playing. It's a lack of historical depth, I think. But 74, thanks to Arneson, and then Gygax's entrepreneurial spirit, I guess. Otherwise, I don't think it would ever left Arneson's table, his basement, his sand tables. But anyway, so 50 years, it's a long time. And I keep seeing people about everyone wants to make their own game instead of just editing the games they play into something that's uniquely theirs, in the original spirit of how the hobby started, right? I say hobby, not community. People live in a community. People play a hobby or use a hobby for amusement. They don't always stay. Real life gets in the way. We all have periods in our gaming history where we just didn't play because I was working 3 jobs, working 2 jobs, kids, school, relentless overtime, working evenings, working weekends. I mean, it destroys your gaming schedules. And really after high school, after college, syncing those schedules up becomes an art in of itself. That's why I've settled into the virtual table as opposed to a gaming table, because it expands it from my local group of people, and I live in an area with population, cities about 25-30K, and the surrounding counties are large. For our European players and stuff, I don't think you guys realize how big the US is when it comes to gaming. I have literally driven 2 hours one direction to play games, and then driven home 2 hours at the finish of those games. And my friend Ron used to drive from Charleston, West Virginia to my house in Raceland, Kentucky to play Labyrinth Lord. Because sometimes you don't have enough people in your player base locally, and to be honest, people's taste. Some people have to have the newest thing, the brightest shine. And even back in the early days of the hobby, that there were people who wanted to play official D&D versus whatever the indie scene or whatever you're making or your house rules. It's like, that's not official. It's extrapolation of the appeal to authority mentality that was beat into a lot of people when they were children. Programmed, as you would say. But anyway, I keep seeing these articles about welcoming new people into the hobby, making the transition from 5e players into the game easier, change your language, make it more appealing, like marketing, HR, and these HR word phrasings, the stuff inside that we all know is despicable. You're like, ugh. You mean churching it up. I'm going to say something controversial about poaching players from 5e and mainstream D&D into your OSR games, or attracting people to the hobby. Fuck them. I don't care. Here's what I play. Here's how I play it. If you want to know more, listen to me rant on YouTube, read a few of my vlogs, or just ask me. And if you want to hear me flame certain editions, I will, because there's lots of editions I don't consider decent D&D or even a practical game system. I'm like, that sucks. And every campaign I run, even if it uses the same cool systems, mutates a little bit to from learning from what didn't work before and catering it a little bit to your players' tastes. There's certain players who prefer certain types of adventure, certain types of roleplay, and certain types of stuff that I despise. I'm like, man, find someone else. I'm not interested in that. And in a hobby where I'm supposed to be enjoying myself, I am not going to devote 3 hours of a day to something I don't like at all. Life's too short. I mean, it sneaks up on you. I mean, next weekend, I'm going to make funeral plans because I got some issues that I probably should address my terminal illness with. Ain't got enough time for your bullshit. Ain't got enough time to take some grown adult by the hand and go, oh, let's put some more inclusive language on this so you don't feel intimidated by basic math, you retards. Or heaven's Betsy, adult themes for adults. And if you can handle adult themes as an adult, and maybe your maturation process was interrupted by something and you're not fully an adult. We have a lot of people walking around who are just aging, decrepit bodies, but the mind and mentality and maturity and emotional stability of a hormonal teenager. It's the state of the world, people. Gatekeep your tables. You don't want these crazy people around your house. I don't let people in my house unless I'm willing to break bread with them. So that makes it even harder to make that table game. It's your private space. This is your very personal space. It's made for family and it's made for your personal comfort. I cut myself again somehow. I do that. But yeah, this whole recruiting from modern gamers into an old school gamer, there are generational gaps, and we are formed differently by the media, i.e. Appendix N, your source media material in your formative years that change your perspective on how you like things. And they are not of us. They're different. And they will immediately start changing the game to suit their modern taste, as opposed to your 40 some years of experience. Because I've run across this with a lot of people, younger folks. I'm trying not to fall in that thing, kids, like a 30-year-old person calling me a kid, but it's just what I do. It's what I do now. And they, no, I just lost my train of thought. Keep hearing that bird outside my window. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Hey man, if they're not going to get it, they're not going to get it. I ain't got time to train these people or to reactivate their imagination, because I think the imagination for a lot of people who discovered fantasy not through a book but through a video game have different expectations and playing D&D to win mentality, certain types of resource management that are a little over the top, and maximization, min-max stuff, I think comes from video games. There's also a competitive mindset with some people. They project that into a role-playing game instead of just enjoying, instead of creating a character that they can experiment with. And I believe that we all do this. We have one foot in reality, one foot in the fantasy realm, and we are playing with our brains, maybe impulses and things that we don't have here, but in a fantasy game we just let loose. So not trying to overthink it. I mean, D&D and therapy is laughable. I mean, I'm married to a therapist, so I find that kind of stuff just, it's like, no, that's just a fair idea. You want to talk to some stranger who's playing orc games and elf games and with your emotional trauma or whatever. No, I don't even want those people at my table. If you're taking medication, hit the fucking door. I ain't got time for your shit. Let's all throw it out there this morning. I don't get it. Some people are like, we gotta grow the base. We gotta create the hobby for future generations. Future generations will find their own hobbies, and if they discover the old school essentials or the old school Renaissance or old school whatever, they'll like it or they won't. But most of them are going to change it to suit their modern taste, to suit their life experiences that have formed them as a human being, hopefully. You're not the same person you were yesterday, and if you are, it means you haven't learned anything about yourself or the world. Yeah. But happy 50th anniversary. For all you guys trying to grow the hobby, yeah. More power on you. I'm not interested. I'll be running my game how I like it, and if people like it, that's fine. If you think these videos are helpful to, as a DM or a player, to help you enjoy and understand the game, or at least just to see another perspective and go, oh, that guy's an asshole, that's bullshit. And then some people are like, he's on to something. Some people will just go based. Got that. It's funny. It's so funny. So it is what it is. I'm planning out road trips for this summer and spring and summer where I want to go to these small museums and stuff. And I'm wanting to game as much as possible, and I am. And I dipped my foot in a different game system that I didn't initially like because it smacked of too modern, and that was Wretched. And I have a whole lot of fun playing that game with some friends I've made online from overseas, and I enjoy it. I look forward to it every week. And then I'm looking forward to running my 3 games I'm running using Old School Essentials with some old local friends who play online virtually with me, and then other people I've met and acquaintances from the internet that I play with on a different day. And then I have an open table where I'm experimenting with some ideas with old school gaming, with the kind of thing I like to run, Mega Dungeons. It's you read through it 2 or 3 times, it's set, and you can just go back to it quickly and pick up convoluted plots and stuff like that. It can be hard to pick up if you have a gap of 2-3 weeks between a game session, or you're involved in other games. It becomes blurred lines, and I think that takes away. I think vendors always talk about immersion. That does take away from it. For me, what destroys immersion is metagaming. The second you have metagaming in the game, the immersion's destroyed. And it's just, it loses a certain feel for me as a player, and I'm just sucks it right out of me. Happens too much, and I bounce. Ain't got time for that. If I want to min-max, I'll play a video game, because that's a video game mentality, I believe. Even though we've had it in the hobby from day one. So it is what it is. But it is what it is. Tank is getting pretty low. Yeah, just thought I'd throw this up there. Morning rambling, no particular topic. I just was flipping through the old Facebook, which is originally just to keep track of family. I actually left Facebook, and all those 30-day timeouts got to be tiresome. So my memes and my political thought are on other platforms because it doesn't support actual speech. And it's good for hobbies, as long as hobbies are within a certain frame of discourse, I guess, based on the whims of administrators or moderators. And most of your moderators, people who are terminally online, tend to be left of center, way left of center. So I liberally block people left and right on social media because I don't want to deal with them. I don't want to deal with insanity or drama or retards. I don't want to deal with them. Actually, my social media presence has kind of shrunk over the years. I've been on Facebook a little bit more lately because grandbabies. You can see my grandbaby pictures. So when I'm flipping through, I get to read all this other stuff because I like hobby stuff, and the algorithm knows that, so it shoves it in my face. Even groups I'm not even in. I'm like, why does it shove me this stuff in this group I'm not in, or I left because it sucked. It's still on my damn feed, and hit block and not like this ad over and over and over. The only thing worse is them gummy apps, man. And that really smacks up to me. And so it's just complaint. I think Hungar's complained about it in a live stream about all those gummy apps. No, it was James, and I was like, dude, it's Brave New World. That's all that is. They're pushing the gummy for each situation in the same manner that it was state sanctioned in Brave New World, except it's a corporate force instead of a state force, which actually now there's not much difference between those two. And I just look at it and go, Brave New World. Not feeling good, here's a gummy. Having a hard time with this, here's a gummy. Blah, 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 over and over and over. And if it was just a market force, it'd be one thing, but the market forces would be pushed by the algorithm, by stuff I'm interested in. And self-medication with THC is not on my list, therefore why is it in my face? Especially after block it. It's supposed to learn to sell you shit, but it doesn't. So that means it's pushed for another reason. I think the other reason is to somatize the populace. Pay attention, people. It's ridiculous. So, I got off topic there pretty quick. I do that a lot. But I thought I'd ramble for a few minutes and get that out of my system. People of the hobby gives a shit. Later, guys.